Hi Emma, welcome to the Flagstaff Gallery. Can you please tell us a little bit about your background with regard to art and how you got involved in being a professional artist?
Okay, I suppose I've always painted and drawn and made stuff from, being a little girl, so it's something that's come very naturally to me, and it was a natural progression through school, just to be painting and drawing all the time. And then I went to Manchester University in England and studied textiles to degree level, and I really enjoyed that, and that's really where I honed in on my love of colour and really started to develop my own style. I also worked on textiles, hand-painted big silk hangings, and but started to really work with acrylics on paper. And then I, from university, went down to London and exhibited at new designers down there, and that's really where, stepping out of university for the first time into the big wide world, was approached by lots of different companies, and at that time I was really unsure of what I wanted to do, so I decided that I would just paint. I'd sold a lot of work at my degree show, and I thought, well, this is something that I really enjoy, and I'll try this for as long as it lasts, and I'm still here, so it's been a wonderful journey, really.
You're known for your paintings. Is there any specific reason why you chose to stay with painting?
I think it's just you stick with what you enjoy, and so it was a really natural decision. And also there's just that wanting to explore it further and further. You never feel like you've completely mastered it. It's like a puzzle that just keeps you coming back for more, really, and that's what keeps me painting.
What is the primary motivation behind your work?
Well, I'm very influenced by children's illustration and children's books, and certainly I had my favourites when I was growing up, and so I believe that in my work there's often a narrative, and that's kind of what motivates me, trying to put images down that are beautiful and people can enjoy and that are uplifting and that tell a story without the words.
Have you found that textile design has featured in your work at all?
There's definitely, when you look at my work, pattern and rhythm, and definitely the fundamentals of what goes into textile design. So colour is massive, and repetition, pattern, it's just kind of a natural thing that goes into the work. So definitely, without a doubt.
What themes or issues do you wish the viewer to take away with them?
Well, certainly for the New York exhibition there'll be what I consider to be two different bodies of work. So Ruby is this very happy little character. She's very positive, and it's about, it was really my reaction to being in the South Island of New Zealand and being in this amazing scenery and being very uplifted by it, and suddenly from moving from England that was quite fast paced to New Zealand, which is a bit more laid back, or very laid back in the tiny town of Queenstown, that suddenly I just had the opportunity to take in this amazing beauty and just see the lovely things that are free in life. And that's the moral of the story, I suppose, behind Ruby, is just to enjoy the small things, and they're all around us if only we'd take the time to look at them. With the other body of work, it's more about growing up and taking on responsibility as an adult, and what society kind of places on our shoulders and how we deal with that. So it's kind of starting, it's a new body of work for me, but that's kind of what that work is talking about.
Which artists have influenced you?
I have so many artists that influence me. I'm just so passionate about art, and so it's hard not to take something away from everybody's artwork, really, whether it be, the skill of being able to draw something beautifully, or to make colour sing, or certainly illustrators, I would say, Quentin Blake. I grew up with Roald Dahl and Quentin Blake, so he just kind of brings these characters to life, and that's what I hope to put into my work.
So you've worked in England and now you're in Queenstown, New Zealand. What are the challenges you face in creating art in New Zealand?
Certainly for me, living in Queenstown, which is in the mountains, there is, even though it's got a great dynamic as a little town, it is a little town and it's surrounded by mountains, and my challenge is really keeping in touch with the outside world and what's going on, and although New Zealand certainly feeds my work, there are pros and cons to everything, and I think my challenge with New Zealand is just kind of being in touch with what else is going on, and that's what I would say my challenge in New Zealand is.
Do you think that seclusion influences your work?
I don't think it's a bad thing, because I think then you're producing something that's original, because you're certainly not being maybe influenced by outside artists. You really kind of on your own in the studio, and certainly the landscape, particularly Ruby, is very influenced by Arrowtown, which is the small gold mining village, just 20 kilometres from Queenstown, and it's famous really for turning these amazing colours in autumn, and that's again what influenced my work hugely in creating this gorgeous little character that has this abundance of colour around her.
What excites you most about going to New York?
Well, it's New York. I actually went there once with my university in my final year to go around a lot of the textile studios, and it just left a lasting impression. It's such an amazingly exciting, dynamic city that, wow, just to have my work there and have that platform is an amazing opportunity that I'm really grateful for.
Quite in contrast with Queenstown, I'm sure.
Yes.
And what do you hope to bring to the exhibition?
I'm just, like I say, very fortunate to be part of this exhibition, and I really hope that my work has a really uplifting feeling for people viewing it, and perhaps gives them an insight into a more laid-back culture. I think New Zealand, does have that element to it, and I just hope that the audience really enjoy what they see.
And what are your own thoughts about the Flagstaff Gallery bringing contemporary New Zealand art to New York?
Well, it's just fantastic. It's, I know the guys in the gallery have worked really hard for this, and just so great to bring the two cultures together and put these artworks forward to a new audience and let them experience it, and for us to get feedback from it. So I think it can only be a really positive thing.
Great, thank you very much, Emma. Best of luck in New York.
Thank you.